So when you look at Queen Mary 2 now and people come on board and it's all, the interior is decorated and she's beautiful, she's done multiple refits since, like what of this ship is yours and what was other designers?
Right. Well, I did all the technical layout of the ship, where things are, the safety, the powering, the interior architects. There were 2 firms, and I took them to Eltham Palace to see that marvellous building there that's in the Art Deco style.
Yes.
And in fact, the duplex suites are modelled on the bedroom of the Eltham Palace bedroom. For that entrance lobby at Eltham Palace, that was sort of a vision that I gave them as to what I felt the ship was going to be like.
Yes.
And they all worked on this, and
And I remember when the first brochures were coming out, there's a few things that are different. When were those sort of decisions made, when they changed to the final design?
The artist's impressions were mostly done pre-contract.
Okay.
And a lot of those documents were used to give the yard an idea of what the interior people had in mind so they could price it.
Yep.
And really need to explain to everybody how these ships are priced up. You've got the technical part of the ship, which is very easy to say we want 4 engines, 2 gas turbines, that. But when it comes to the decorations, there can be vast differences. And the yard, when they sign on the dotted line, they want to know exactly what they've got to contract the outfitters to do. So you do it by saying you're going to have an equivalent room to another ship. So the ship that we used as the reference ship for this was actually Rotterdam 6.
Really?
Because at the time, she was considered the most highly decorated ship. And so I took the French team from Saint-Nazaire on Rotterdam 6, and they evaluated the costs per square foot of deck, ceiling, and everything. And then every single room is benchmarked against that.
And that's one of your ships?
Yeah. By coincidence. And then it's a trade-off between standards and some areas where the interior architects really, forgive the pun, want to push the boat out. You're going to have to pay extras or do trade. So that's all part of the process. So that's why it takes such a long time from that letter of intent, which is a base price, to get in the final specification.
And she's held her age so well. I mean, she's what, 20s?
She's 21 years old now in service.
Carpets have changed, chairs have changed, but all this is the same.
Yeah, absolutely. And I like to think, QE2 survived, 2 years in her original form before she was radically changed radically. Although there have been superficial changes, the elevators in the atrium have been taken out because of the rebuilding of the...
Then the other day, actually, I just wanted to go straight from there up to King's Court, and I have to go away.
Well, unfortunately, they came up exactly where the servery is. So that's why they had to go. So I often feel that collectively, not just me, but collectively, we produced a ship that has been 21 years or so without major change, really. And I think we all did very well.
And just to finish up, I have to know, when you see the ship go in for refit, when you see it getting changed and altered, when the balcony cabins were added on at the top, how do you feel when you see that? Because she's your baby.
Well, it's a double-edged sword, because I had the vision about what the ship looks like, and I obviously want to, as far as possible, preserve that. But you do have to realise, at the end of the day, it's a business.
Yes.
It has to make the return on investment.
Yes.
And to make any changes on board the ship costs an inordinate amount of money. And the only way that can be done is by increasing revenue.
Indeed.
So it's a reality of life. And okay, everybody on board, certainly, I think you would agree, Chris, on this trip, everybody seems to be having a fantastic time, enjoying it.
Loving the ship.
But at the end of the day, it only exists for shareholders to get their return on investment.
true. Yeah.
And if you can have people enjoying themselves along the way, it's a real big bonus. And, you know, both of us this trip, I think, doing our bit to
I think so. I mean,
Yep.
full houses in the lectures, people are still very fascinated by the interest, but I think also to be on a ship that's still doing those voyages, still can do the transatlantic. We're in the middle of the Atlantic right now,
Yep.
and it's completely stable.
Yeah, and it's quite rough out there.
Yeah,
I must admit,
it
it's Liverpool 7 and that.
Hardly any movement at all. You can't see any movement on the camera, I'm sure.
No.
Do you see a bright future for this ship?
Oh, yes, because she's the only one.
Yep.
And she's full. So there's obviously that demand.
Will she be the last liner?
This video was brought to you by me and my new book, The Evolution of the Passenger Ship. In The Evolution of the Passenger Ship, we bring years of research together to create a book that takes you on a journey from the dawn of passenger shipping right the way through to the modern cruise behemoths that we see today. And if you purchase a copy, you support us, which helps us keep the channel going. Thanks so much, and now back to the video.
Will she be the last liner?
Well, I notice on the Cunard website, they actually state the last liner. And that makes me a bit sad.
Yeah.
Because Mickey always says he saw that with QE2.
Yeah.
And he said that made him feel that he had to
do
build the new one. So
maybe in 30 years' time, someone will have the same idea.
all we need is somebody now with $2 billion and we can build a new one.